Okay, welcome back to the vlogs. We have a really late start this week to the vlogs. It is already Wednesday afternoon, but yeah, I have a really hectic work week this week. I have a lot to do, and once I'm done with work, I'm just really mentally drained. So, yeah, it hasn't been the greatest of weeks. My allergy is still not completely gone. At least the swelling has gone down, which is nice, and the pain has gone down as well. But it is a really slow process. I'm just glad that you can't see it, to be totally honest. But yeah, you can see how damaged my hair has gotten from the bleach. The last time I talked to a hairdresser I know, and he explained to me what most likely happened because I did bleach my hair for like 10 years with the bleach, like the same company, and he's like they most likely upped the developer of the bleach, and they don't have to disclose that on the package, which I think is like a pretty big oversight. And so, to make the bleach work better for most people, but because of my hair and it being so thin, like the bleach was perfect before, and now it was way too harsh, which I didn't know. And so yeah, that made my hair break off in a lot of places. And so yeah, as you can see here, I have a lot of like short hairs here now. And yeah, he talked with me about the allergy to hair dye and how I will most likely have a problem to find black hair dye that I'm not allergic to. But I have a few ideas which I will try out. Not on my head, not again, before I know that I for sure don't have a reaction to the color. But like, it seems to be that black hair dye is the one that is the most likely to have for you to have an allergy to. So yeah, a little bit of like an annoying fact of life, I feel like. But yeah, now that I have a lot more information, hopefully I can mitigate problems like these in the future. Let's talk about the reading. I am reading two books currently. One is The Painted Man by Peter V. Brett. This is a fantasy about a world where there are these demons who come out at night, and the people have to like make like these circles around the houses to like the demons can't walk through them, and so everybody lives pretty isolated, and it's really hard to get news from other places because if you like are traveling, it's really hard to like keep the demons out of where you are. And the story is about Arlen, who is like this little boy at the beginning, and his homestead and the village where he lives gets really ravaged by the demons, and he tries to travel to the next big city and see the world, and story goes from there. The biggest problem I have with this that the characters are incredibly bland. It may sound harsh, but I feel like none of these characters like stand out in any way, not even our main character, which is pretty problematic for such a fantasy, in my personal opinion. Like they feel kind of cliche and bland, pretty much mainly. So I'm not particularly loving this one. I like the concept of the story, but the characters really make it boring to read for me. But we'll see. Currently, our main character is really ill and sick from his travels, but he has lived so far, which isn't easy with the demons. So yeah, he's currently traveling. And so yeah, the book is pretty much just about him surviving, and yeah, we'll see how it continues. I'm not loving it, but it's one of those books I just want to get through. And then the second one is an audiobook I'm listening to, which is called Billion Dollar Loser, which is a nonfiction audiobook about the owners of WeWork, which is a company that went under in 2019 that had these like shared workplaces, and they pretty spectacularly failed after having like a really like an empire. I've already learned a lot about that company. I don't know, I like to watch CoffeeZilla, for example, who is like a YouTube channel who goes into like fraud cases and stuff like that, a lot of like crypto, but he also talked about WeWork, I'm pretty sure. And so I'm really interested in stuff like that because I find it like really interesting to see how these people behave and what kind of weird characters they are. So yeah, I'm listening to that one. I think 3 hours in. It's not the longest audiobook, and so far it's pretty interesting. The author, who's a journalist, did do an interview with the WeWork founder, and like shortly before it went under, so that is really interesting, like him talking about how the guy behaved and like all of that. So yeah, that is really interesting. I actually am really liking that one. So yeah, that is a really good read. And yeah, those are the two books I hopefully get through this week. I'm reading a little bit less because of my brain just being fried after work, which is also a reason why I'm knitting a lot more, because the knitting projects I'm doing right now are really brainless projects. So let me show you the first one, which is this one, and that is my finished piece. And that is the cardigan I finished. It is blocked now. It is so soft. I'm loving it. And yeah, I bought a lot of buttons. I think I talked about that last week. And so I picked out these really nice red fake wood grain buttons, and I feel like they fit really nicely to this, more simple cardigan, and it fits a little bit oversized. I think I could have like knit a size smaller, which would have been the smallest size. But yeah, this way it is just a really slouchy, comfortable, relaxed cardigan, and it is perfect. I love it. I absolutely love it. And yeah, it is super comfortable. I'm not gonna put it on right now because it's incredibly warm. This whole week we have like nearly 30 degrees, and so yeah, it is way too warm to wear this cardigan, except for in the mornings. Then the second thing I'm knitting is a summer top, but I'm really slow with this because it's really taxing on the hands, because it's made of cotton, and cotton doesn't stretch, so it's harder on your hand while knitting. But it is looking like this. It's just, I already knit it. It's the one I have in purple, but a more relaxed version. But yeah, this is how it's looking. It's this like lace faux cable pattern, and yeah, I'm this far, so I'm not super duper far. But it is making my hands hurt pretty easily, so I'm doing a few rounds each day, and then I'm knitting something else, and that is something that is totally impractical at the moment, but I love it nonetheless, so I'm knitting it, and that is this cardigan. As you can see, I have done the neckline and down the front till I could start the arms, so now currently I am knitting the first sleeve, and yeah, I'm loving it. I think the color suits me incredibly well. But yeah, this is a wool alpaca mix. It is incredibly warm. It is not at all fitting for the temperatures, but I'm so excited to knit it that I'm just knitting it. So it will be finished once I can wear it actually, or I probably will be able to wear it in the mornings as well. When it's still colder outside, I might be able to get away with just wearing this one and then, switching to a top later on in the day. But yeah, I think this looks so good. It's a joy to knit. It really is a joy to knit, and I don't really have to think about doing it because it's just stockinette, so it's really easy to knit as well. So yeah, that is pretty much where we are right now. My brain is fried. I am doing more knitting the rest of the day, whilst playing Cauldron, which is like a semi-idle game, which is what I like to do when I knit. I just have an idle game or a semi-idle game running, or like a city builder, that I can do some gaming whilst I am knitting, because I do enjoy that quite a bit. And yeah, good morning. It is not even 6 o'clock yet. I am awake since 1. I couldn't sleep in something. We had like a shelf in our bathroom that came down in the middle of the night, and like I was awake after that. I'm not somebody who can go back to sleep once I get woken up in the night. So yeah, the thing that meant actually was that I read a whole lot of The Painted Man. I'm nearly finished. I will finish this today, definitely, which is way quicker than I thought. But I had a lot of hours tonight that I had to fill with something. This isn't the book for me. I didn't click with the characters, which is not good, because the book kind of, relies on you feeling for the characters. I don't know, for me, they didn't speak to me. We have 3 main characters. I don't know why I forgot that yesterday. My check-in yesterday was not really good. But yeah, we have 3 main characters. We have Arlen, which I told you about yesterday. Then we have Leisure, which is a girl who is 13 when we first meet her, who is becoming a herbalist. And then we meet Roger, who is 3 years old when we meet him, and he's like a crippled orphan who, over the story, becomes like a jongleur, is that the right word? Like an entertainer and musician. And they all kind of help fight the demons. I think the one thing that the book does really, really well is to show you how scattered the humans are and how much space and time kind of is between the settlements and, you know, the messenger system that goes between the bigger city and the smaller settlements, and what those kind of people like take on to actually get messages to the people. So yeah, I think that was really well done. I just didn't like the characters all that much. I didn't care for them all that much. The way women are portrayed in this and what happens to the women, yeah, it feels like typical male author, which seems mean to say, but I feel like a lot of times portraying women in not so good a light is like a liked plot point in a lot of books, and I personally am not the biggest fan of that. Also, you know, sexual violence against women, I'm also not a fan of that. In like fantasy books where it's really not necessary. So yeah, I don't know. I wasn't the biggest fan of that, and I didn't like the characters. So I don't really know what to give the book yet. I mean, I'm not quite through it yet, but I feel like a lot of the things, like our main character Arnon, he was becoming. We do skip times multiple times, so our characters are older at the end of the book, and he's becoming like he's fighting the demons more or less, like, and he tries to find new ways to get rid of the demons and stuff. But some of those things you're like, why did nobody ever try this before? Like, it feels like nobody did anything until our characters came along, which seems a little bit dumb and wasteful. Like, the story wouldn't be there if the people just thought a little bit harder, because it's so obvious some of the things that our main characters like find out and learn, where I'm a little bit like, why did nobody do that before? So I'm not impressed by the book, I have to say. I'm really not impressed. I don't think it's a particularly great fantasy, if I'm totally honest. I think the idea of the story is good. I think the way the book is done is just not doing it justice. So yeah, this is not the fantasy for me, definitely. But yeah, I will finish it this afternoon, and then I will tell you what I thought about the ending. But yeah, I'm not impressed. But I didn't think I would be. I think, you know, this has been on my shelf for so long now. I felt like if I would have liked it, because I know that I started it once, again, or like when I bought it, but then I put it away, which I don't know when I bought it exactly, but the book came out, like this version came out in 2013, so it's 12 years old already. So obviously in between that time I tried reading it, I never did, and then once I got back into reading, I, you know, picked it up again now. But yeah, it's just not the fantasy for me. But yeah, I thought I'd check in with you, and yeah, I will now work, get my workday behind me, and then we will finish this one. And yeah, I'm gonna have to think about a rating. It's probably gonna be a harsh rating, but I feel like I need to start being a little bit harsher with my ratings. I think I have too much of a tendency to give 3 stars to books I don't particularly enjoy, just because I feel bad giving in any less, but I feel like that makes my 3-star ratings really muddled. So I'm gonna have to think about that. Okay, I finished The Painted Man. I marked one part of the book because I want to have a little discussion of how bad and annoying I find that part of the book. I'm giving it 2 stars. I think it's bad. Originally, like yesterday, I was tempted to recommend it for like certain people. And I actually looked up the ratings, and this book has phenomenal ratings. I do not get why. I think this is such a cheap cop-out of a fantasy. I really dislike it. Mainly because of the way that the world is dark because women get mistreated and assaulted all day, every day. And I read other reviewers who also said that, but they were in the minority. But I don't get why there are authors out there who can only describe a dark world where women get like severely mistreated. Like, why can we not have like a dark fantasy world where we don't have to read about sexual assaults? I don't get it. I think it's annoying. I think it's a bad habit of certain authors, and this is no exception. And the story I marked, the 2 of our main characters who are on their way together get assaulted by thieves, and the guy gets bogged down by one of the thieves, and the other ones assault the girl. Let me read you a few sentences. Alicia whimpered again, and guilt shook him. He had fought to save her honor, but they had been 3, all armed and stronger than him. What could he have done? I wish they killed me, he thought to himself, slumping. Better dead than to have seen. Really? His thoughts in the situation of her getting assaulted by 3 guys is, I wish I was dead so I wouldn't have seen that? Yeah, I hate the characters in the book, and this is what this book is. Again and again. Yeah, I'm giving it 2 stars because the idea is a good one. Like, the concept of the world, the concept of the story is a good one. But what on earth is that? Like, are we for real? Do we need that in books? I mean, the book is old now. And it's a series, I wouldn't recommend reading it. There are so many better worlds out there, like fantasy series, fantasy worlds, that are so much better than this. I don't get it. I really don't get it. I'm annoyed at it. I'm giving it 2 stars. I'm severely disappointed. Like, the idea is really, really good. But the fact that the darkness of the world is primarily shown through the suffering of women is just idiotic, to be honest. I think it's idiotic. Where are the men who get sexually assaulted in books like these? Why do they never exist? Why does it always have to be the women? I hate it. I'm sorry. I'm annoyed. I hate it. I'm giving it 2 stars just because the idea is good. There are good parts in there, but it gets ruined by the rest of the book. But I finished it, and you know what? I know that I'm never gonna read anything else by the author, so I'm fine with that. I'm just not gonna. I'm not gonna try and find out if his other books are similar. And I would not recommend the series, and I wouldn't continue with it. So yeah, that is pretty much all for the reading. I did continue with the audiobook as well, the Reworks audiobook. But yeah, there isn't really much to talk about because obviously it's just about the story of Reworks and kind of, yeah, the problems the guys had and this like fake ego, fake, what is the right word in English? I don't know what the word in English is right now. Like the fake confidence of the main guy in the story is just, I don't know how people get to that point in their life that they have such a confidence in themselves, even though they have never really done anything like that was really like sustainable and worked out, and I don't get how they have so much confidence in themselves. Like, I'm a person, I know that I have abilities, but I'm really self-conscious about them. I'm a realist. I know that there are a lot of people that are better in the things that I do than I am, but I know that I'm not the worst at them. I try to keep it realistic, but like, I cannot imagine having the confidence to do the stuff that he isn't really a con man. Maybe a little bit. The guy from WeWorks, I forgot his name. I'm really sorry. But yeah, to have that much confidence to, his business being pretty much near ruins, and then doing this interview with the journalist who wrote the book and being like this really confident guy, like, we're doing great, it's going better and better. How do you get to that point? I'm really wondering. It's the same thing with the Theranos situation, which the book is something called With Blood. That is a brilliant book about the Theranos situation, which I would really recommend everyone to read to kind of understand how these things happen. And the WeWork book is in that same realm, not quite as good. I found the one about Theranos to be a little bit better, but it was also a bit more tragic. So yeah, the WeWork situation is like annoying and bad, but it's not like a tragic story, you know what I mean? So yeah, it's more like, it's informative, but it's not groundbreaking, and I think I'm halfway through at the moment, so I will probably listen to quite a bit more tonight, and then we'll see how that is. And then I will have to pick up a new physical read, which I'm currently thinking of 2 that I might want to read. But after that fantasy, I don't know if I'm not in the market for a book. I already know that I enjoy it, just to get back on track with like a really good book. Because I need to pick up The Knife of Something, the Patrick Ness book that I have on my TBR still, but it's also kind of a fantasy, and I'm afraid that I won't like it, so I think I might need a book in between that I know that I will like, just to, give myself a little treat for reading that shit show of a book. And then what I mainly did by listening to the audiobook and playing some idle games is I continued my knitting, and I have finished the first sleeve of the sweater. I did not continue with the body part, because I learned from some people that it's easier to do the sleeves before the body part, and then if you don't have enough yarn, you can just make the body shorter, but you have enough for the arms. So that is what I'm doing, and yeah, I finished the first sleeve. It is looking really, really good. I need to weave in the ends, but yeah, it's looking really, really nice. And so yeah, I'm now currently working on the second sleeve. I am in love with the sweater. It is coming out really nicely, so yeah, that is what I will be continuing. Good morning. It is, I don't know, 10, half 10, something like that on Saturday. I thought I'd give you a final check-in for the vlog before I finish this vlog up, because I'm not reading anything. I didn't read anything since yesterday, and I think I will take off of reading till Monday to give me a little bit of a break, and then I will start with my TBR for the next month, even though we have like a week left. But I just finished filming my video for my TBR for next month, and I don't really see a problem with starting with that early. But yeah, I tried reading more. Like, first, let's talk about my finish. I finished $1 Billion Losers, which has this cover, which I listened to. I gave that 4 stars. I think it was really interesting, and the author really like looked at everyone, at the investors, at the workers for the company, at the guys who funded the company, like who made the company, at their families. Like, he really looked at each and every one of them. Some people more, some people less. I felt like he could have looked a little bit more at certain people, but all in all, it was like a really good all-around look at what happened with WeWork and the power plays that were there, and the main guy who I still always forget his name, who kind of wanted to be this like entrepreneur who has all of the little people in mind and who likes the connection, but in the end he's also only somebody who wanted to have a lot of money and buy expensive things and like that, and he did really show how the problem of WeWork, like the biggest problem really was that the company wanted to be a tech company, but they were just in a oh god, what is the name? Not a renting company, but like they work with houses and locations. Wow. I'm gonna put the word here that I'm searching for there. I can't remember right now what it's in English. But yeah, so that is pretty much what the biggest problem with WeWork was and what ultimately was their downfall. So yeah, actually not a bad book. I think it's always fascinating when like they talk in those books, they talk about how charismatic the main guy was. The same for the Theranos book. I have never met a person in my life that I thought was that charismatic. I don't know. Maybe I'm not a people person, so maybe that is the problem. I am incredibly introverted, and I much prefer talking to people online than in real life. So maybe that is why I haven't met like such a charismatic person, but like I can't even really imagine that. I think it's kind of a weird concept. But yeah, I finished that. I was really happy with that. And then I tried picking up a few different books, but I felt like, I didn't feel like anything, like reading any of the books that I picked up. And ultimately I decided I will just take a pause from reading, because just the whole work week was really mentally taxing, and I think I just need a break mentally. And I feel like sometimes reading is as mentally taxing as working. And if I have too much at work, that I have too much to think about at work, reading can be a little bit of a problem. So yeah, I'm gonna pick that up on Monday, and I will tell you in next week's vlog what book I will pick up for the next week. What wasn't taxing, because it's just really easy and simple, is my work on the sweater, because I've now finished both arms and I am currently working on the body, which I already made quite a bit of progress. So yeah, this is really mindless knitting, and that makes it incredibly easy, and I don't have to think about anything. It's just stockinette in the round, which is the easiest thing you can knit, because you only need to do knit stitches around and around and around. It's really, really easy to do. So yeah, it is looking incredible. I love the color. It's like a really, really nice grayish purple. I don't know, it doesn't look as purple in the camera as it does in real life. So yeah, but it's a little bit more purple, but it is still a grayish purple, and I love the look of it. It's really not the weather to wear it, but we're gonna ignore that. So yeah, that is what I will be working in today, probably for most of the day. I also bought myself Dead Space yesterday, the remake. I did play the original, but yeah, I bought myself the remake because I was really in the mood for that, and I started that, and it's a lot of fun, though I am really jumpy, I have to say, and I'm really bad at first-person shooters. It's not a game I'm like ever good in, so it will be pretty hard to get the achievements, but at some point I will get them. But yeah, I'm just enjoying my normal playthrough right now, and it is really, really good, and it looks fantastic, and it runs really good on my PC, which is good. I do need to upgrade my PC next year or the year after to be able to play all the games on the highest setting, because at the moment I can play most of them at the high setting, but not with ray tracing, so I need to do an update, but I will only do that once I have enough money saved, because that will be expensive. So yeah, that is kind of everything that is up right now. So yeah, I will stop the vlog here now, and I will see you back on Monday in the next vlog with hopefully good choice of book and back into the reading game.